Okay, good evening, everyone. Today is module 3. Okay, we have completed module 1 and module 2 last week and all that. So the recap is on module 1 and module 2. We learned about what is prana. Prana is the life force that keeps us alive and connected to the universe. We receive prana also from the 5 main sources. We also spoke about our sun, which gives us the energy and all that, Mother Earth that grounds us, the trees and the air that refresh and heal us, water that cleanses and heals and balances us, and the cosmic energy that uplifts our spirit, right? Our soul and all that. So when we live in harmony with all the energies, our body, mind, and soul will stay vibrant and alive, right? So that's what we covered last week on module 1 and module 2. Of course, I summarized it all, right? So yes, and today's module is module 3. It's a very interesting module because it is all about our human body. Okay, so it will be, we have to go certain things very thoroughly. So we may not be able to finish the whole module 3 today. It may carry on a little bit to next week because I don't think it's fair to just rush through. So I wanted to do it properly because this module is the bulk of the questions that will come out also. And it's so important because it's our human body and it's very important that we know it. So a lot of our the past graduates last year, they said that this part really helped them to understand how to heal themselves as well. So we don't want to rush through everything, all right? So as and when, keep your questions, write it down, jot it down. At the end, we will take a Q&A session. I just put that 10 o'clock. We may not end at 10. We will try our best to end at 9:30, but we will have some Q&A for later part and all that. And then we will continue next week. Okay, is that fine? Yeah, because there's no point rushing and all that. 1 minute. Okay. All right. So we're going to look at the human anatomy, which is different parts of our human anatomy we're going to be looking at. All right. And all of them is going to be multiple choice. So I've tried my best to put the anatomy and the questions so that it's like more concurrently you will be also practicing and looking at the theory part of the anatomy as well. All right. So yeah. Okay, now if we look at the human anatomy itself, there's the body is divided into 2 different parts. Okay, it's very important that you need to know the body is divided into 2 different parts. Okay, so why 2 different parts? The inner body is like, the visible outer body, right? Which is your skin that you can see, your muscles. When you flex your arms, you can see your muscles, your bones, your hands, your legs, the external part of the body. You can touch your eyes, your ears, and your nose, and all that, right? So these are visible body parts. Okay, the non-visible body parts will be like your organs, internal organs, the glands, the nerves, and the body systems, like the reproductive system, the heart system, the circulatory system, the respiratory system, and all other systems, okay, that work together to keep this body alive and healthy. Okay, so in the exams also they can ask you all any of these kind of questions, right? So remember, there's a visible body and an invisible body. So it's important to know the non-visible body is explored through your certain machines. Not yet. Wait, my machine is missing. So some of these machines, right, which used to be like your X-ray machines, your MRI scans, your CAT scans, and your ultrasound, endoscopy, and all of that, or all these that can only be seen through the machines and all that. Okay, so it's important that the visible part of the body you can touch. You can touch your skin, you can touch your hands, and you can touch your hair, your body parts. Okay, that comprises of the skin, muscles, sensory organs, and a more structural form. Our body is made up of trillions of cells. Okay, and that's very important for us to know also, right? Our body is made up of trillions of cells. Okay, and each of them has a purpose, coming together to form tissues, organs, and systems that support the complete functioning of life itself. So every cell within the body contributes to the harmony. The trillions of cells are communicating with each other. Each time they're responding to whatever the internal and external influences. So it's very important, right? Why are they important for our cells to work in that way? So human cells are like tiny building blocks that make our whole body system. Okay. Now they are so small that we cannot see them at all with our naked eyes, right? You need to see them only through a microscope. So cells are seen through the microscope, right? And different cells have different shapes and sizes, and the way they look are all different. Okay, so think of your cells like Lego blocks. If you got kids, right, and then you give the kids Lego, and they're building something. So our cells are also like building blocks. So many tiny cells join together, right? They join together to form the skin cells, the muscle cells, the bone cells, our blood cells, and our organs like heart, lungs, and our brain cells, and all that, right? So all these trillions of cells are working day and night to keep us alive and healthy. Okay, so that's why it's very important for us to know how the cell, what are the functions of the cells, and how are they working, so that we can help ourselves too, because we are a very important contributor to the function of our cell, right? So why are cells important? Because cells help us to grow. Okay, cells help us to grow. When there's a cut or any injury, it helps to heal. Okay, it also gives us energy, right, and also fights germs, right? So that we don't get sick easily. It helps us to think, move, breathe, and feel. So, but without the cells, the human body cannot live. Okay, because different cells have different jobs, right? The brain cells help you to think and learn and to function. Muscle cells help you to move. Blood cells carry oxygen around the body, like a circulatory system, right? Then skin cells protect our body, and immune cells fight germs and sicknesses. So actually, basically, the our cells work like a tiny city. Each cell is like a tiny factory in our body. It takes in food and oxygen, and then it changes into mixed energy, removes any unwanted waste, and then it does all the special jobs to help the body and all that. Okay. Now, cells also make tissues, right? So, see, our cells help to make tissues. Very important. Okay. And the tissues help to make the organs. And the organs actually make the body systems. So, the body systems help the body, human body, to keep us alive and healthy. Hmm? Okay, and then if you look at our human cell itself, there's so many, right? You don't need to remember everything. The most important you need to know is the nucleus. One of them is nucleus. Okay, what's the function of the nucleus? It's the brain of the cell. So very important. Okay, a cell, every cell has a nucleus. So the nucleus is the brain of the cell. It controls everything the cell does, contain the DNA. Okay, it gives all the instructions for the body and all that. Okay, so nucleus, right? The next one is the cytoplasm, which is like your this one. Cytoplasm is this jelly-like substance that holds all the cell together and helps to move about. So it's like a jelly, wobbly. It's able to change shape and move about and all that. Okay. Then your cell membrane. Okay, cell membrane is important, which is here. Your cell membrane, which actually gives you a outer covering of the, like, controls the cell, but it's got an outer covering, so it protects the cell and all that. It's like a security guard at the gate. Like, don't let anything come in to attack the cell and all that. So it's like a security guard waiting there to catch people or to any unwanted things from coming in. Okay, the next one, very important, is the mitochondria. Okay, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. This is a very important for the cell to function well. If this doesn't work, then the cell is basically not working, right? And when it doesn't work, then it's dying. It's not able to regenerate and all that. So mitochondria is very important because it's the powerhouse of the cell. Okay, in the exam they can ask you, what is mitochondria? Very important. They won't ask you everything, yeah. So important to know what's nucleus, what is cell membrane, what is cytoplasm. Also maybe not important, but mitochondria is very important. That's a hint. Okay, so they turn food into energy for the body. So very important. It's like a battery or a powerhouse station giving electricity. Okay, so you need electricity to see and to work, right? So the same thing. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. All right. Yeah, that's how okay. But then for knowledge wise, the ribosomes are very important. They make proteins, so that helps the body to grow and repair itself, right? Like tiny factories making important products, that sort of thing. Okay, so that's your ribosomes, so which makes proteins and all. Okay, otherwise it's good. So nucleus very important. It's the main part of the brain, right? And then your mitochondria, it's your power station, powerhouse. It's the one that the powers the cell and all that. So very important. Okay, together all these parts together work together to help the cell stay alive and keep the body healthy. So it's very important function it has. Okay, now, so every cell in our body is communicating, right? They're responding to the environment, both external and internally. Okay, external, what happens to us, like whatever food that we put in and all that. Internally, our thoughts and emotion also affect ourselves, right? When our emotions are balanced, the body will work harmoniously. When you're always stressed, when you're always upset, when you're always emotional, then your cells are also responding to that. So imagine your body is trying to help you to function better, but here you are not helping the cells or your organs to work because you are putting in unnecessary stress, unnecessary emotions that's affecting the function of the cells and all that. Yeah, so it's very important for us to, when our emotions are balanced, the body will work harmoniously and organs will perform according to the roles smoothly, and then the energy flows freely, and the mind remains calm. Okay, so when emotions are overwhelming, like you feel unnecessarily angry, you feel very fearful or full of grief or anxiety or any resentment, they disturb this natural harmony. And these emotional stress and all that, affects your nervous system and your endocrine system, which we'll be looking at later in a thorough manner, right? So that's the part. So it also, when you are full of emotions, it also disrupts the energy flow, which is the prana. Okay, the prana wants to flow through, right? But with unwanted emotions, it's stopping the prana from flowing in to the organs and all that. Okay, sometimes we get overstimulated with emotions, right? And then it affects the different parts and all that. Okay, later on we'll be looking at more what happens when what organs get affected when you get too angry or when you're scared and all that. We will look at that in detail. Okay. All right. So this is the human anatomy, right? So this is the parts that you can see, like your head, your body, your neck, your arms, your elbow, your forearms, your hand, your thighs, your leg, your foot, your toes, your ankle, your knee, your lower limb, wrist, limbs, thorax, shoulder. All these can be seen and touched, right? So that's why they call that, visible organs. Okay, visible body parts. So also like this, another part, visible, everything that can be seen. Okay, so non-visible, right, that cannot be seen, only seen through the microscope or seen through the x-ray or the scan or the MRI scan, will be these kind of organs, right? Like our brain, our spinal cord, our larynx and pharynx and all that, windpipe, our heart, our liver, our bile duct, gallbladder, kidney, duodenum, colon, our pancreas, our spleen, stomach, and all of these things that are internal, it's non-visible, right? That's why they call that non-visible. So you must be able to list down. I mean, it's multiple choice anyway. So they will given you the choices. You just have to choose carefully. That's all. Okay. All right. So today one can see all the internal organs through all these profound machines that has been created by man. Right. All right. Okay. So all these can be seen through these machines. Now, let's look at the question time. Okay, which of the following belongs to the visible body? Um, A, hormones, B, cells, C, skin and muscles, and D, electrical signals.
C.
Okay,
C.
it's C.
Say
C.
skin and muscles.
See.
Okay, good. All right.
Body
So
B.
yes, yeah, the answer is C. It's correct. You
C.
can't see your
Same.
hormones because it's
B.
inside. Pardon?
B.
Did you say B?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if you say B, right, it says visible means you can see them, right? You can see like on your hand, on your body, you can see
Invisible
them.
B है दूसरा आंसर.
So you can't
Answer
see
is B.
yourself. Hmm?
Answer is B.
Yeah, but you can't see your cells, can you? You can only see your cells through the microscope. It's not visible to your body, right? So, for an example, when we looked at here earlier, the visible part, these are the things that you can see: your hair, your head, your eyes, you can touch, your ears, you can touch, and all that, right? So, these are called visible because you can see them with your eyes, right? You can see them with your eyes. But the non-visible ones, like these, you can't see them. So in the question here is visible, that you can see. So B is wrong. You can't see your cells. Your cells are inside the body. In your
C.
trillions of cells. You can't see your trillions of cells moving around. It'll be pretty scary, you know. I wouldn't want to see my cells moving about. Neither would you want to see my cells either, right? Right?
C.
So yeah, so the answer would be C. Skin. You can touch your skin, right? And your muscles. You can flex your muscles. You can see those who go to those like Surya, all these people got so big muscles, right? Or like muscular. Then you can see, right? So muscles that can be seen, right? Electrical signals, of course, you cannot see them. You can only feel them. Okay. Now the invisible body. Now you cannot see them. Invisible means cannot see, right? So what can you not see? A, bones and teeth. C, cells, hormones, and nerves. B, cells, hormones, and nerves. C, hair and nails. And D, limbs only.
B.
This means
B.
bones.
B.
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 Answer is B.
B.
Answer is B.
B.
Okay, yeah. Yes. Okay, so invisible cannot be seen. Huh? Very good. So it's B, right? You cannot see your cells, you cannot see your hormones, and you cannot see your nerves, right? They're all internal in your body and all that. Anyway, you wouldn't want to see them also, or your friends, right? So yeah. Okay. Now, the nervous system. The nervous system connects the body to the which part of the organ? A, kidneys, B, lungs, C, brain and spinal cord, and
C.
D, heart only.
C.
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 Answer is C.
Brain and spinal cord.
Yeah,
C.
very good. Good. Okay, all of you so smart. So no need to worry already. All can pass the exams. Very good. Yes, nervous system. It's where it's inside your in your brain, right? It's connected to your spinal cord and all that. So it's the brain and spinal cord. You know, when a newborn baby, when it's formed.
Electrical current. No?
Hmm? Pardon? Mr. Deepak, you said something?
No, madam.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So brain and spinal cord will be the answer because it's important because the brain is connected to your spinal cord, the brain stem, right? And then that's when it forms all the way to the for a new fetus, it will form all the way and all. Yeah. Nervous system uses tiny what to send messages. Our nervous system uses tiny to send messages. A, muscles.
A.
B, electrical currents. C,
B.
bones. And D, chemicals only.
A.
Answer
B.
B.
B. B.
The electrical
B.
currents.
A.
Okay.
B.
B.
Okay, very good.
B.
Yeah.
Answer is B.
Yeah, B, right? Okay. So the nervous system uses tiny electrical currents to send the messages. Okay, very good. All right, correct. Well done. Okay, now let's look at question number 5. Which mineral helps electrical signals function properly? Right? Which mineral helps electrical signals to function properly? Okay, A, iron and calcium. B, sodium and potassium. C, zinc and copper. And D, magnesium and sulfur.
A, magnesium and sulfur.
C.
It's
B.
C.
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 C है chemical.
Okay.
Sodium and potassium.
No.
All right. So there were many answers. Anyone thinks it's a A? Anyone thinks it's a A?
No, iron and calcium only required for the bones.
Exactly, yes. And iron is for the blood, right? So, but this one is asking you what electrical signals helps you function better. So it will not be that one, right? Okay. Now, some people said B, sodium and potassium. Correct? Right? There were some of you who said that sodium and potassium. Correct? Because why? Why did you say it is sodium and potassium? Because they are called electrolytes.
Salt.
Right? When someone wants to faint, right? Someone who feel lightheaded, just feel dizzy and all that. So immediately there are little sachets of electrolytes. They will actually put them in a water and mix it and give them so that they will feel a bit more, they won't feel dizzy and all that, to just give them some electrolytes. Okay, and sometimes sodium is important for the body because they are the ones who actually resting potentials of the cells. They're actually vital for the cells. Okay. Sodium is vital for, of course, not overdose lah. Okay, sodium can be sodium chloride also, right? Which is salt, right? But the thing is, everything in moderation. When you take too much of something, it's not good for health. But if we take too little of something, it's also not good for health, right? So you have to have a moderation of that. Okay, potassium is important as well. Right? So the answer is actually B, sodium and potassium. Now, zinc and copper is more for the body's immune system, right? It helps in the immune system and all that. Okay, magnesium and sulfur. Magnesium is important for the, sometimes, some people get cramps, easily. So sometimes lack of magnesium may cause these things and all. Yeah, so the answer is sodium and potassium. Okay, drum roll. Yay. All right. Now, question number 6. Excess sugar may damage the what? Bones, heart valves, myelin sheath, or muscles?
Sheet.
It's,
B. Answer is B.
the heart walls.
Heart wall.
Okay, excess sugar.
C.
Answer is C.
C.
Okay. Now, so let's look at, anyone thought it was A, B, bones? It's okay to make mistakes, yeah. That's when you will learn. When you make mistakes, then you will remember during the exam, oh yeah, I said this wrongly. It's not correct. Then you will remember. Yeah. So don't worry about making mistakes and all that. I always tell my students, make mistakes, then you will learn. Right? If you always get it correct, then sometimes you are not learning, you're just copying your friend or something, right? So don't worry. Okay? Nobody will judge here. We are all the same. Okay? Now, so excess sugar may damage. Can it damage the bones?
No.
Anyone thinks it's the bones?
No.
No, right? Yeah, bones is calcium, right? And then it won't damage the bones. Yeah. Okay, heart valves. Okay, excess sugar, it may not go all the way there yet, right? So it's got nothing to do with that. Okay, many of you I saw just now in the chat. Okay, Mr. Yash said C. Okay, and some of you also mentioned C. Anyone thought it was C?
No, ma'am.
Myelin sheath is part of the brain, yeah? It's part of the nervous system. Because you know why? Myelin sheath, it's very important because it's a protective layer on each the nerves. Okay, so when there's too much of sugar, right, and it can actually lead to damaging the myelin sheath. The myelin sheath actually is a protective coat for our nerve fibers. That's why children shouldn't take overly too much of sugar, because and the nerves themselves will interfere the signals. So that's why when you look a little these days, especially, right, those who have ADHD and all that, we avoid giving them, or the doctors will tell them no sugar. And even if they do, they will take something with sugar free. It's a alternative to maybe some other fruit kind, even though it's that kind of sugar, but it's not processed kind of sugar. Right, so myelin sheath is very important because it protects the coating of our nerves in our fibers and all that. So when it damages the nerve, right, then it will have you're not able, you lose sometimes sensation on you feel numbness in your fingers, or your muscles feels weak and all that. So too much sugar is not good. So it's always important that as we grow older, reduce the amount of sugar. Once in a while, for the taste part is okay, but to eat too much of it, excess sugar will actually cause affect the blood vessels and the nerves and all that. Yeah. Okay. So damage to nerves. So the answer is C. Yeah. Okay. Excess sugar may damage the myelin sheath, which is C. Won't do nothing to the muscles. Okay. And damage to nerves may cause what to happen? I think
Numbness,
we went through that one.
numbness and burning
C.
sensations.
C.
C.
See, numbness
Answer
and
C.
burning sensations.
Right? Yeah. So it's C, right? Numbness and burning sensation. Okay, when something like this happens, is numbness and burning sensation and all. Okay, better balance, no la. Damage already, how to balance? You're right, doesn't make sense, right? Faster reflex, what? Damage already, how to even reflex? Will be like toying, you know what I mean? There will be lack of energy kind of thing, right? So C will be like, numbness and burning sensation, then you feel, especially those with diabetes, sometimes their foot, many of them, they complain their foot at the bottom of their feet is like the sole of the feet has got a burning sensation when they walk or things like that, right? So that also is because of excess sugar. Increased strength, that means you're very strong. I mean, cannot lah. Damage already, how to be strong, right? So makes no sense. Okay, so sometimes options like this, good to read one by one, cross out, and then choose the right one. So even our science questions in school, we'll tell the children, especially when the upper primary, lower primary is still manageable. Upper primary, but they have to look at the options because the options are so confusing. PVH sir sets the exam very, I should say, a bit tricky, but not so tricky. As long as you have learned, you will be fine. But compared to our school exams, it's very tricky. So you guys are safe, huh? Just have to look carefully and cross out which doesn't make sense. Okay, now where are the body's blood cells produced? Okay, where are the body's blood cells produced? Liver,
C.
A, B,
C.
heart,
C.
and C,
C.
bone marrow.
C.
C.
So confident, very good. I like that. Loud and clear. Right? Yeah, it is C, right? Bone marrow. So important. Bone marrow produces the blood, right? And all that. Very good. What makes the body, what makes the bones weak? And it's because of us that the bones become weak. Think about it. What makes the bones weak?
Calcium.
Calcium deficiency.
Calcium.
Calcium deficiency.
Pardon?
Lack of
Calcium deficiency. Lack of
calcium deficiency.
Lack of physical activities.
Okay. Lack of
Lack
some of
of
the some of those-
Vitamin
Lack
D.
of-
Lack of vitamin D.
Lack of calcium deficiency.
And also acidic food.
Uric
very
acid.
good.
Uric
Yes.
acid.
Yes. Basically the most important is the acidic food. Acidic food makes the bones weak because the thing is, too much of sour food and all that, right? So it causes. But of course, some people said lack of calcium. Yeah, if you don't, as we age, we must have a bit of calcium. If we don't, then the body is not able to absorb the vitamin D and all that, and then it also makes you weak. Right? Sometimes when people are getting older, so they cannot fall, and because the bones become a bit brittle as well, right? And then so they must be able to have some minerals that keeps the bones strong. Hormonal changes as well. Sometimes a drop in the estrogen, right, during menopause in women, that can also lead to brittle bones as well, weak bones. Lifestyle, like someone said, we must do some exercise. Physical activity is very important. I think during the G meet, when we do daily blessings, I showed one lady who is about 79 years old, right? And she is fit as a fiddle. She can even do, a lot of exercises and strenuous one, but because she built it up slowly and she's very strong and all that. So even the younger children, teenagers and youth couldn't do it, but she can. She's even stronger than them and all that. So you see, it's all how we take care of our health, the kind of food, the kind of exercise we take, certain food like lifestyle factors like smoking, alcohol, all these will also weaken the bone structure. So it's not good. Osteoporosis is also another thing that actually causes the bone to weaken as well. But basically, yeah, acidic food is not good because that also weakens the bones and all that. So multiple things. So basically, or most of you are all right, right? That one is just a extra question. I just wanted to tease you all. Yeah, that one won't come out for exam. Don't worry. I mean, it's the truth, right? Yeah. Okay, but it's good to know. Yeah, suddenly it may come out. Right? Okay, now explanation here. So the body's blood cells are produced in the bone marrow, right? So many of you already know the blood cells are produced in the bone marrow, and the bone marrow is soft and spongy tissue found in the bones. So if you eat like chicken bone or mutton or something like that, right? Then you know that the bone marrow where people like to chew on and all that. So that's the soft cushiony thing that is there. So it makes all types of blood cells, like the red blood cells carry oxygen, the white blood cells fights infection, and platelets help stop bleeding. So when you have a cut, you want to stop the bleeding and not bleed forever, right? So you want to stop the bleeding, platelets come to the rescue, right? So when you have good vitamin C and you have platelets, a healthy body, the blood will bleed, the bleeding will stop. Okay, this is the proof to say that the body heals by itself. Okay, when you say how can the body heals by itself, right? This is one of the factor how you know that your body heals by itself. If not, you'll be bleeding until you have no more blood in your body, isn't it? Correct. So if the body doesn't heal, if the platelet doesn't come to stop the bleeding, you will be bleeding forever. So that's a part of your the fact to prove that body heals by itself. Okay, excess sugar, just now we spoke about it. Yeah. Now, so excess sugar can damage your heart, your kidneys, your liver, your pancreas, and the brain. Okay, excess sugar, right? Because these are the ones that are not. So it affects the heart mostly as sugar triggers chronic inflammation and raises blood pressure, which increases the risk of heart disease and stroke. So you see, sugar is not good at all. But if you follow Sir's workshops and all that, right? Sir always shows a mouse. Do you remember the two mouse that he will actually rats, right? One with healthy diet and one with processed food. So the one with the healthy diet, when it put in the water, it knows to find. It was so fast in finding the way out and getting on to the safe grounds quickly when it was timed. Okay, so when the one which was unhealthy, like was eating all the processed food, which is the chips and the sugar and the cakes and all that, right? It was slower and took longer time to find its way, and and all that. So you see, imagine the kind of sugar we give our children, how slow it will make their brains work, right? So during exams, I tell my children strictly no sugar. After exams, okay, you want to eat, then okay lah. But during the exam period, strictly no sugar, because also excess sugar also brings your immunity down, right? You one who eats too much sugar and all that, easily gets flu, and it's hard to build up the immune system and all that. So not good, right? Always moderate sugar or no sugar is the best. Or if you feel you're craving for something, instead of eating processed, might as well eat a fruit, because that sugar still is not that bad compared to the processed ones. Yeah. Liver stores fats, in the long run causes fatty liver. Kidney, when high sugar, damages all the blood vessels, right? And stops the ability to filter the waste and increase the kidney diseases and all that. Pancreas, of course, we'll be looking at it in a short while, right? Overconsumption also forces the extra insulin to be pumped out, which will cause a burnout in your pancreas. The pancreas will be saying, hey, stop eating sugar, and here you are pumping sugar, and then the pancreas will get burnout, and eventually you have to look for external insulin. Okay, brain cognitive decline, yes, impact memory, high risk of dementia. So very important, don't take too much sugar, yeah. Nobody wants dementia and all the diseases, right? So cut down on the sugar part. Also, it causes tooth decay and bacteria in the mouth, right? For the sugar and all that. So excess sugar. Now, location of our pancreas. Okay, pancreas is coming now. All right. Before we do that, right? I wanted you to watch a video. Just give me a minute now. Okay, let's stop this one first. Can you see my screen?
No.
Do you see a video on my screen?
No, Chitra.
No, Chitra.
Okay, Ken.
No,
Let me just-
madam. No.
No.
Okay, Ken, no problem. Thank you.
No, we can't see.
Okay. Let me try again. Let's see.
When you look in a mirror and see yourself and you see like one person looking back, that is not true. You are made out of 50 trillion cells.
Chitra, we cannot see them.
You see
Not
now?
a
Now can. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, okay, great. All right, because I couldn't insert it today, so that's why. So I do to play it externally. All right, so watch Dr. Lipton, Bruce Lipton. So he explains it so well about cells. So watch this, yeah. What happened? Okay, 1 minute. Sometimes the problem with technology. Okay.
When you look in a mirror and see yourself and you see like one person looking back, that is not true. You are made out of 50 trillion cells. So you are a community, not a single person. I will show you the science of actually how the cells work, and you will have more knowledge than most doctors in the world today because they still believe in the genes. Here is the simple truth. A gene is a blueprint. Are you reading the blueprint or are you not reading the blueprint? And the gene does not make that decision. The gene is read or not read. And what do you think controls the signal? Perception. Every cell has about 1.4 volts, not too much. 50 trillion cells in the body times 1.4 volts and 700 trillion volts of electricity in your body right now. But your mind is the government for the 50 trillion cells. So if you change your thought and your mind, you can change the biology. The mind is the primary cause of illness on our planet today. So you're not the victims of your genes because you can change any of your genes anytime. If you change your perception, change the reading of your genes. If someone tells you you're going to have a disease and you believe that, then you can create the disease. Perception can rewrite the genetic code. So perception controls life. No two people see the world in the same way. They have different perceptions. And sometimes your perceptions can be right, and sometimes your perceptions can be wrong. Since perception controls biology, and since they can be right or wrong, then it's more accurate to say that belief controls biology. What you believe creates your life on the inside and on the outside. You're not a victim of your genetics. You are responsible for what unfolds in your life. The placebo effect is when you have a very positive thought that something can heal you, even if it's a sugar pill, but you believe it's the real medicine, then you can heal yourself with that. So the pill didn't heal you, it was the thought that healed you. There is negative thinking, and it's called the nocebo effect. And in the same power that positive thinking can heal you, negative thinking can kill you. So if we were growing up and programmed with stronger beliefs, we would be more powerful than we are now. When you are conscious, you can rewrite the instincts. And when you become conscious, you can rewrite the experiences of your life. So that it is important to recognize that what we are not using enough of in our world today is consciousness.
All right. So what he says is true, isn't it? Our thoughts and our words have energy and the power with the ability to help or heal or even hinder or hurt ourselves. So you see, the right words can. So the placebo, when you think you are healing, your body is healing, your cells are working, and you are healthy, you are having these positive thoughts, your body will start healing. But if you have negative thoughts, oh, why am I here? What am I doing? Why my body like this? Or that, when you keep complaining, and that's what your cells and your body is going to work like. All right, with lack of energy. So always think positively, say positively. So the words will actually help to build up and make you feel strong. Right? So we are made of 50 trillion of cells, right? And the cells are all in our control. Whatever we put in, example like in negative emotions or thought forms or auto suggestions of the doctor or acidic food or carbonated drinks, etc., every actions of ours is a repercussions of the effects on our cells, right? Because our cells react actually to our actions. So remember, let's take care of what we put into our body, right? So let's take charge and let's take control, because in PBH we always focus on our body, mind, and soul, isn't it? Right? So it's important. Okay. Right. Now we go back to main slides. Okay, good. All right. Okay, now we're going to look at pancreas. Very important. Hang on. Sorry. Okay, so pancreas is a very important organ, right? So if you look at the location of this organ here, this is our pancreas, the yellow looking thing, right? Okay, and in this pancreas is actually located behind the stomach, and it's in the upper abdomen there, right? A little bit. So you're behind your stomach, and it's in the upper abdomen, not at the lower abdomen, but upper abdomen. Okay, and it sits back horizontally at the back of your belly, kind of thing, right? Just below the rib cage and all. So the main important job of the pancreas is like a kitchen and a control room, no? It's like a kitchen and a control room for your body. For an example, when it helps with the digestion, which is what your kitchen jobs does, right? It produces digestive juices to go into your intestines to help break down food. And then especially like your fats, proteins, carbohydrates, what else? Yeah. All right. And and it helps the body to absorb all these nutrients. And then it also controls your blood sugar. So the control room job, right? So the pancreas also produces hormones. And the most important one being produced by the pancreas, anyone, do you know? Very important, right?
Insulin.
Yes.
Insulin.
Yes.
Insulin.
Correct. In insulin is so important because it helps move sugar, the glucose from your blood into your body cell where it is used as energy, right? And then sometimes what happens if the pancreas fails to produce insulin? Then if your pancreas doesn't make enough insulin, then the body cannot work properly. Okay, because the sugar builds up in your blood because it cannot enter the cells. And when the cells don't get energy, then you start getting tired, thirsty, and weak. And over time, when you have too much, like high blood sugar, it damages the organs, like your eyes, the kidneys, the nerves, and the heart. And then the condition becomes diabetes. It's like having a fuel in the tank, which is sugar in your blood, but the key insulin is not there to open the door, to let the engine work. So your cells need energy, right? So it's very important. So pancreas is the body's sugar manager. It manages the sugar. When it stops producing insulin, the sugar can't enter the cells. And then because of that, the cells become tired because they overworked, and then slowly your health starts to giving way and all that. Okay, so pancreas. So it looks like this. Okay, and then this green thing is a gallbladder, which we'll be looking at later on. Okay, so this portion, all right. So it's connected. It's behind the stomach area there. Okay. Now, okay, insulin is the hormone secreted in. Some giveaway, right? Answer, right? Okay. So I know you all very smart lah. A, gallbladder, B, pancreas, C, liver. B.
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 Answer is
Pancreas.
B.
Huh? I cannot hear. Pardon?
Pancreas. B.
Pancreas.
Pancreas. Yes.
B.
That's right. Yeah, so this was a giveaway question because we just did, right? We are talking about pancreas here, and then yeah, so it's there. Okay, good. See, I'm not bad, right? I'm kind of kind also, right? Okay, so pancreas is responsible for producing insulin. So a hormone that regulates your blood sugar levels by allowing the cells to absorb glucose. And that's very important, right? Because the gallbladder's job is to store the bile, and the liver processes the nutrients and detoxifies the substance, which does not produce insulin. So the main job, the main important organ here, the pancreas, right? It's the only job, it's to produce the hormone called insulin, and that's very important. Okay. Now, so there's something called glucagon. Okay, we haven't done that part yet, but I just test you first, then after that we go through the theory, okay? Right? Every time cannot give the let's work. Let you think a bit. So glucagon is the hormone secreted in where? Kidneys, bones, or pancreas. Those who have done this, those that have done
Pancreas.
last year, don't answer first, okay? Those who haven't done, please answer, because I think most of them are.
C.
Pancreas.
Okay. Mr. Dharmendra, you said something?
C. Pancreas. It is C. Pancreas.
Pancreas. Okay.
C. Pancreas. Yes.
Right. Anyone think his kidneys? Or bones?
No.
No? Okay, good. Very good. See, all of you are very smart. Right? So pancreas is very important, isn't it? Because the thing is the glucagon. What is this glucagon, right? So glucagon is like the body's emergency sugar helper. Okay? It is there. It's a sugar. Imagine like your car, for an example. Imagine your body is like a car, right? Then sugar in your blood is the fuel that actually gives you the energy to think, to move, to play, and to work. Right? But sometimes when you have not eaten for a long time, for an example, you're working the whole day, right? And you didn't have time to eat. So your blood sugar becomes too low, right? Because you didn't have time to eat and you didn't have your breakfast. So your blood sugar becomes low. And this is when the glucagon comes into the picture. It comes to your rescue. So, and it will say that glucagon is made by the pancreas, right? It will tell the liver, hello, our friend here hasn't eaten. Please send some stored sugar into the blood because the blood now needs the energy. So the glucagon will start, the liver will start functioning, okay, and then send the necessary to the, to secrete the sugar level. So insulin puts the extra sugar away because for insulin's job is when there's too much sugar, it doesn't know how to manage, right? It puts away into storage. Whereas glucagon is taking it out of the storage when needed. When it's needed, right? So it takes out of the storage when needed. They work together like a team to keep the body balanced and full of energy, right? So insulin and glucagon are like two helpers working together inside our body, right? After you eat, your blood sugar goes up. So insulin helps to lower the sugar by moving the extra sugar into the body's storage areas for later use. Because they know, it's too much sugar already. Okay, put it away. Let's put it away. Okay. Now, when you have not eaten for some time, like the whole day you're having meeting and all that, and you haven't eaten, your blood sugar may become too low. Okay. And that's when glucagon will come in and help to raise the sugar level by telling the liver, hey, hello, let's give him some sugar now. Let's give them some sugar now to release the stored sugar back into the blood. So together, they work together, right, to keep the blood sugar balanced and steady. So that it's working, the body is to function, right? So all this is especially your brain always has the energy to think, to move, to learn. So insulin and glucagon are like two teammates working together to ensure that the blood sugar is always balanced, right? Fine. Is it clear? Yeah. Okay, so it works like this. The insulin is here. So sometimes when you have, after you have eaten, then there's too much sugar after eating. So immediately it will say, okay, it's time to store away because too much sugar and the body doesn't need that much of sugar. So immediately it goes into the liver part and then it stores there. Then when one day you have not eaten anything, you're so bogged down with work, and then that's when it starts producing. Okay, now give more sugar, that kind of thing. So they work hand in hand together to help each other. All right. Okay, so glucagon is actually made by the pancreas, right? And its job is to raise the blood sugar levels when they get too low. So it tells the liver to release the stored sugar, which was when you have eaten, it's excess, so it's stored away. Okay, so glucagon works opposite to insulin. One increases, one decreases. That's all. That's all you need to know, right? So this is a hormone that raises the blood sugar, glucagon, and all. Right? So glucagon raises the blood sugar, insulin lowers the blood sugar. That's all you need to know, yeah? So that's the part. So in summary, they keep the blood sugar stable so that our body always has the energy, especially the brain, which needs a constant supply and all that. Okay? This one is okay, right? So far, pancreas. So this is just a simple, I'll post it in the group later on, right? So insulin versus glucagon. So what is the difference and all that? Insulin lowers the blood sugar. After you've eaten, the blood sugar goes up. So it tells the liver to store away. And then as a result, the sugar level go down. Whereas the glucagon here raises the blood sugar because you haven't eaten for a while. Or even when you're fasting, when you have to go for blood test or something, you're fasting, then the sugar level is low, isn't it? So that's when it tells the liver to, okay, this person needs some sugar now, release and all that. So the sugar level goes up. So this balance is very important. If the glucagon isn't working, then one can actually faint, right? And then, then needs to be revived and all that. Some people do have, it has happened when they have suddenly low blood sugar or something like that, then if they need something to pop into the mouth and all that. Okay, now we're going to look at spinal cord. Important, huh? Spinal cord. Right? So what is a spinal cord here? The spinal cord is like a super important cable inside our back. Okay, it's a bundle of nerves. So if you look at the spinal cord, it's full of nerves there. Okay, and that acts like a highway for messengers between the brain and the rest of the body, sending signals. So it lets us move our arms and legs, feel things, and even do things without even thinking. Right? Like even when we are blinking our eyes and all that, right? Or suddenly you touch something hot or cold or really cold or really hot, then you pull away your hands. It's the signal that you are receiving. So it is inside our spine. The spinal cord is protected by the bones of our spine, and cable carries messages and electrical signals and all that. Yeah. It also connects our brain to our body, sends signal to move up and down and all that. Right? And then also it's part of the central nervous system. Okay, with our brain, it balances and all that. It helps us to sense and move around the world and all, right? Okay, now the question. Yeah, okay. Spinal cord. Okay, 1 minute. Think about it. Look at the question first. Think about it first.
Seven. 12. 5. 34 bones. Oh,
Okay, have you thought about it? Now look at this. Our
yes.
spinal cord, right? We have cervical bones, right? How many cervical bones do you think we have?
7.
Okay, so we have 7 cervical bones. Okay, very good. Okay, how many thoracic bones do we have?
12.
You have done the exam before, right? Let's help people who haven't done the exams. How many lumbar bones do we have?
5.
5.
Okay, and how many sacrum bones do we have?
5.
All right. Okay. Now, if you look at here, okay, let's see. Right. So this is our spinal, right? Our cord. So this is our C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, and C6 and C7. So all these is the cervical bones that is actually here. So you're right, right? C1 to 7. It's here. Now, thoracic bones like your T1 to 12, which is the middle part of the bones here. Okay, and the lumbar bones here, L1 to 5. Okay, and then sacrum bones, again, it's also S1 to 5. Right? So these are important. And this is our little tailbone. Then we don't have a tail, but we have a little tailbone that is there. Yeah. Okay, now the spine mainly helps to do what? Digest food, support the body, pump blood, or control vision.
B.
B.
Okay. Anyone else?
B.
Think otherwise?
Can't
Anyone
see the
think
question.
A?
Can't see the question.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, good. Many people are putting in the chat. B, very good. Yeah, it's good to put in the chat.
body. B.
The spine mainly helps
Answer is B.
Right.
support the body. B.
Okay, yeah. So the spinal cord is actually basically to support the body, isn't it? Right? So it is B. You're right. Now, which vertebrae bears the highest load? That means, like it has to bear a lot, like carry the whole weight. Is it A, T1, T2, T3, B, T3, T4, T5, or T1, T2, T3 looks like our Singapore, Changi Airport, the Terminal 1, Terminal 2, Terminal 3, yeah, but it's not, huh?
C,
C,
C1.
L1, L2, L3, and then D is C1, C2, C3.
L1.
Okay, so which one do you think is the
L1,
highest
L2,
load?
L1,
It is the
L2,
highest
L3.
load.
L1, L2, L3.
It's okay to make mistakes, yeah? It's okay to guess also. Don't worry.
C.
I won't bite. Hey, hello. You can put in the chat group also, in the chat. No worries. Which is the part that has to bear the heaviest part of it? Like, have to carry your whole body weight. Okay, someone said B,
Answer is
all right?
C,
Someone
C.
said
C.
C.
Yeah. C.
C. Bones and muscles.
Okay. Some people said C, some people said B.
Bones
Okay.
and muscles.
Okay. Yeah, the answer C is correct. Because why? It's because the L1, L2, L3, right, are located in the lower part. So let's look at the bones. You see if you look at here, this portion, the L1, L2, L3, it's holding up the whole entire body, the upper body. Yeah, so it's holding up all your whole entire upper body. So it is a lot of heavy duty on that. This L1, L2, L3. Because it has to support the entire upper body and all that, and has to withstand on all the kind of things we will do, right? Like the sports and activities and all that. It can actually sometimes cause a little bit of damage here and there and make it move and all, right? So yeah, that's when you have the slip disc and things like that, right? So L1 to L1, L2, L3 is very important because that's the part that actually holds does the bulk of the carrying of your upper body weight. Okay, so the answer C is correct. Now, osteoporosis mainly affects the muscles, skin.
Madam, why there's an echo sound?
C. Bone and
D. D. L2 sister. D. D. D.
B.
Yeah, D, right? Because
B.
it's skeletal, right? Because bones. Osteoporosis is related to bones and skeletal is to do with bones. This one I put a trick question because I put bones, but I also put muscles.
Madam Chitra, there's
Sorry,
echo.
Madam,
Madam
for the
Chitra, there's
interruption.
echo.
Sorry. Can 1 minute, please?
Sound is
There's somebody,
echoing.
I think somebody's background is just going on. So we can't hear you very well. Okay, thank you. Now it's
Everyone be
better.
muted so that you can answer in the chat, okay? Because if not, other people are hearing the echo. And we're also recording for those who are not present here, so they will listen to it later. Thank you. So just mute yourself here. If I mute, then I have to unmute you all, I think. Let me just see. Okay, everyone is muted. Okay, thank you. All right. Is it better now? Is there echo still?
Yeah,
No
good,
echo.
good.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
No echo.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for alerting Mr. Gopinath and Palini. Thank you. Okay, so skeletal system is correct. All right, because it has to do with bones. Now, so the explanation for the C, right? That's now when you're the part where this question, which vertebrae bears the heaviest load or highest load on or strain on the back, right? Which is your C, L1, L2, L3, because the strong support pillars of your back is located at the lower back, the lumbar, the vertebrae, L1 to L5, which is very important, right? And they're the largest and the strongest in the spine area. So, which is also like a building, if you look at it, right? Because they are located at the bottom part of it. And at the same time, they're also they're also like exposed to a lot of stress and all that, because when you're going traveling in a kind of vehicle and all that, going up and down and bounce too much of bounce and all that, it also actually causes a little bit of stress on the L1 to L3 and 4 and 5. Yeah. So it's like the foundation of a building. So like the lumbar vertebrae are like the large bones in our lower back. So think of our spine like you can actually say like a stack of building blocks, right? Holding up a tall building. So the top floors of the building represents your head, your neck, your chest, and your arms and all that. So the bottom of the blocks, right, like your L1, L2, L3, have to carry the weight of the everything above them, because they support the most of the body weight. So, and that's why they are called the largest and the strongest vertebrae as well. They carry the heaviest load, because imagine you carry heavy back, heavy load and all that. Actually your L1 to L5 are being strained also. So, and why are they important? Because so that you can stand upright, right, and all that. So without the lumbar vertebrae, your body will not be able to stand upright. Your upper body would not be able to be properly supported. So movements such as bending, lifting would be difficult after that. So that's why it's very important that we look after our spinal cord and our vertebrae and all that. Yeah. So don't do strenuous activities that actually cause damage, or strenuous sports and all that to to put a strain on those areas, right? Because they help us to carry ourselves, help us stand and move safely and all that. Hmm? Okay, let's see. Okay, so without muscles, the body would move faster, freeze in place, become stronger, or heal faster. Without muscles, so the body would
Freeze.
what helps the body to move?
Muscles. Freeze in place. Lovely.
Okay, yeah, very good. Okay, yeah, you see, if you look at this, without muscles, the body would move faster. Makes no sense, right? Because you see, we have a skeletal system which gives us the structure of the body, but muscles are the ones that make us move. So sometimes when someone is involved in an accident, right, a severe accident where the muscle is dead or become paralyzed or something, the person can't move, right? Because the muscles is dead and all that. So without muscles, your body cannot move, right? It doesn't. This one says move faster, right? Unless we are sonic, we are not sonic, so we won't be able to move faster. Okay, freeze in place, yeah, can't move, become paralyzed, right? Without muscles, you can't move, right? Become stronger? Oh no, never, no way, right? Heal faster? No, it won't, right? And all that. So correct. The answer is B. B is correct. Okay, the spine mainly helps to digest food, support the body, pump blood, control vision.
B, support. B,
Okay.
Support body. B.
B.
Okay, good. Yes. Thank you.
B.
Yeah, you can mute yourself. Yeah, we can put in the chat also. Yeah, correct. Right. So the body, it supports the body. Right. The spine helps to support the body. So help you to move, help you to walk, help you to bend and all that. Yeah. So it helps you to support the body. Okay. What is the largest organ of the human body?
A. A. Skin.
Skin.
Okay.
Skin.
Okay. Some people say, okay, many of you said skin. What about liver? Is it the largest organ?
No.
No, right? Yeah, it's so small only, right? Okay, but okay, now, so you know that skin, because why? Our whole entire human body, right? Our body, every part of our body is covered with skin, right? So that's why it's the largest organ of our human body. Which is the longest nerve in the human body?
A. Sciatic.
Okay, some people said B, some people said A. Okay, right. Let's find out in a short while. Oh, okay, never mind. The answer isn't there. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now, which is the longest nerve in the human body, right? Okay. Okay, some of you say vagus nerve. Some of you said it's sciatic nerve, right? Yeah. Okay. So the answer is actually A, sciatic nerve, Okay, and we will look at it in why in a short while with explanation. Okay. Now, sciatic nerve, is it the smallest nerve in the body or the longest and the thickest nerve in the body?
Longest and thickest.
Weakest nerve. B.
B.
Okay. Right.
Answer
Okay.
is B.
All right. Okay. Some people said B, some people said
B.
A. B. All right.
Teacher, how much?
Yes.
B.
All right. Yeah. So it's the longest and the thickest nerve in the body. Okay. And it runs all the way from the back to the legs and all that. Yeah. Okay. We will look at that. I've got an explanation part there. The sciatic nerve runs from the neck to the shoulder, brain to the chest, lower spine through the
C.
Number C.
arms to fingers. Okay. Good. All right. So yeah. You said answer is C, right? I can't give you explanation because if not, then you will know all the other answers. So that's why I have to wait till the end. Then I give you the explanation part. Okay. Now, poor posture and long sitting may affect the optic nerve, sciatic nerve, facial nerve, cochlea.
B.
Optic nerve. Sciatic nerve.
B.
Okay, you may want to mute yourself because we
B,
still
B.
hear echo.
B,
Can you
B.
all just chat? Put in the chat.
Sciatic nerve.
Okay, thank you. There's echo, so you can mute yourself. Thank you. Thank you, Asha. You put in this chat group. Okay. All right. Some people said B. Someone said optic nerve. So optic nerve is to do with eyes, right? That's why you go to optical nerve, right? So it's A is not the correct answer. Okay, it's to do with eyes. A. Okay, now C is facial nerve, which is something to do with in your face itself. So also no, not facial nerve. Cochlea is inside our ears, the eardrum inside, in the middle ear. So that's cochlea there. Okay, so the other one is sciatic nerve. So if you look at the options, if you eliminate slowly, you will know that hey, B. Even if you don't know the answer, but if you sort of like eliminate, because this is to do with posture, how you sit, okay, and how you stand and how you carry yourself. It's the one that is talking about here. So it has to do with sciatic nerve. Okay. So now, skin. Skin is the largest organ in the human body. It covers the entire body and protects all our internal organs. Right? So skin is very important. Even when you have a deep cut or, in a road accident or whatever, your skin gets scraped off. There are people where they can see the nerves and the internal part because the top layer, the epidermis is gone, right? It will take time to heal and all that. But yeah, when that part is gone, it will start bleeding and all that. So you can see those parts. So it's pretty scary and all that. It also helps control the body temperature. So skin is very important, right? Because it helps you, in a cold climate, it gives you a bit of warmth to keep yourself, to the right temperature, allows us to feel, touch, heat and pain as well. So when you touch something hot, you can actually feel. So all this, it actually is because of the sensation on our skin. Okay, the sciatic nerve is the longest and the thickest nerve in the human body. Right? It starts in the lower back, runs through the hips and buttocks and goes down each leg. Sometimes they even use this nerve to actually patch up the, those with the heart issues and all that. Okay, so it starts in the lower back. right? And runs through the hips and the buttocks and goes down each leg. It also helps to control the muscles and feelings and the sensation in the part of the body as well. Yeah. Okay, now we've come to the nervous system. You all want to take some water? Any water break or anything? Do you need any to drink? If you
Yes.
don't, we can continue. Pardon?
Yes, for a minute.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, you can stretch yourself and move a bit about, and we will start in now. We don't have much time to waste, but yeah. Okay, so what is the nervous system? So nervous system is very important, right? It is our body's communication and control system. Okay, it carries messages between the brain and the rest of the body. It helps you to think, helps you to feel, move, to breathe, to see, to hear, to react quickly, right? Like something is dropping, falling down, immediate reaction, to move, right? Not like you're just standing there and then wait for the things to drop on you, right? You dodge if something is coming along your way and all that, right? So the nervous system is like a body's electrical wiring system, right? Just like wires carry electricity in a house, the nerves also carry messages throughout the body and all that. So it's an important system. Okay, now why is the nervous system so important? Okay, why is it important? It is important because it helps to control and coordinate almost everything in the body. Okay, without it, right, without the nervous system working properly, you cannot move your muscles, you cannot feel pain, or no sensation, touch, or the temperature, whether it's hot or cold, you can't feel it. The organs cannot work properly. The brain is not able to communicate with the rest of the part of the body and all that, right? So it helps you to protect from danger. So the nervous system is very important. So if you touch something hot, the nervous system quickly tells you, "Hey, move away, it's hot," right? You quickly take your hands off and all that. Okay, so nervous system, very important. Now, so the function of the nervous system is very important as well. What makes the nervous system important? So if you look at here, the brain, right, which is our control system. If you look at here, the brain, which is the control center of the body. Then your spinal cord, which is the connected nerves connected to the brain and send signal back and forth to the brain, from the brain to the body, sending signals all around. And then yeah, it's also carrying all the nerves, little tiny wires, like around the body, right? And it's making electrical signals to muscles and organs and all that. So sometimes when someone has got too much of static energy, right, so they can get electrocuted easily, because sometimes nowadays there's a lot of lightning alert, right? Everywhere you look, there's lightning alert things, because a lot of people have been actually struck by lightning, and all that. So it's very important, because if our because we have electricity in our body, right? And when too much of static energy, it actually causes a different reaction and all that. There's this guy called John Sullivan. I remember doing this with my English class, and that guy, I think he got lightning. He got struck by lightning 7 times. First, I think his eyebrows and hair all got burnt. Then second one, his heart was also, and then he's still alive. He's still alive. He's still living. He's like, so. But it's amazing. And all. So his body is just so prone to getting struck by lightning and all that. Okay, functions of the nervous system. All right, it helps you to feel and sense things, like you touch, the sense of touch, sense of pain. So when there's people who are blind, or when they cannot see, right, their sense of touch is so good. Like I have a friend who's blind, right? The moment I walk into the room, right, she can either smell me, or she could just actually touch, it's me. And I'm like wondering, how do you know it's me? That kind of thing, because she's my A-level friend during JC, and she just lost the sight suddenly and all that. But then, we were just there helping her, and we were used to go out quite often and all that. So, and then, yeah, she just has to just touch. She knows who is exactly who the person is and all that. So the sense of touch becomes so good. So it becomes so good that, like for us people with sight, it is not that great. So, and then also like, when motor functions, controls movement, walking, running, smiling, blinking, and all that. Control of the organs, it like, control, automatic control of our body functions. For an example, our heartbeat, breathing, digestion, and all that. It's very important. It does it automatically without even us telling, hey, I've eaten now, please digest my food. It doesn't have to. The body automatically knows what to do because of the signal that it receives from the nervous system. Okay, and thinking and memory as well. It helps with our learning, understanding, remembering, emotions, and all that. So basically, brain is the boss, spinal cord is the main highway, and the nerves are the electrical system that is sending communication throughout the body and all that. So very important that we know what it is. You see, just now we talk about myelin sheath. So this is what I mean. There's a kind of a protective coat that actually protects the nerves and all that. So when there's excess sugar, the myelin sheath becomes exposed, and it doesn't function as well as it is supposed to be. Okay, myelin sheath. You see? So even when we take a healing one, we can also heal our myelin sheath as well. Besides healing your left brain, right brain, or right temple, left temple, right jaw, minor chakra, left jaw, minor chakra, you can also include your myelin sheath as part of it as well. Yeah, so it helps. Okay, now the nervous system has two main parts, right? We all know central nervous system, which is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. So brain very important because it controls the body's its control center, right? The spinal cord carries messages between back and forth and all that. We also have the peripheral nervous system, which is made up of the nerves throughout the body and all that, and they carry messages to and fro from the brain, sending signals all the time. So very important part of duty that they do and all that. So our Ida Pingala is very good because it helps with our parasympathetic nerves and the sympathetic nerve. It helps to balance both sides. So Ida Pingala is something that is so important that you must learn how to do it. And we being in PVH, that is basic form of healing, right? Aura cleansing in Ida Pingala is a must that we all must know. Don't know can always learn from someone who can actually teach. Or Sir has many videos that we always post, and you can learn from there as well, right? Okay, so let's see. Now, which organ acts as the main controller of the trillions of cells in the human body? It's a giveaway question, huh?
Brain.
Okay, anyone in the chat?
A.
Brain.
Okay, very good. Yes, it's a brain, right? So it's the brain. Definitely not the kidney. Doesn't control the cells in the body, right? Total cells of the body. The organ that acts as a main controller. Okay, main controller. Okay, so it's the brain. It controls your main part. Okay, so the brain is like the big boss, like the boss, right, of the body. It sends signals to all the other bodies, telling the cells what to do, when to move, when to eat, when to rest, how to react, and all that. It controls the thinking, feeling, and all that as well. Okay, but there are people who overdose on certain food, emotions, and all that. So the signals don't work properly, right? Because of this. Why are you all unmuted? Muting and then you're not muted. Hmm. Please mute yourself. Thank you. If not, there'll be echo.
Chitra, I cannot mute lah my phone.
Okay. Now you're muted. Ken, thank you. Okay, now it controls the thinking, feelings, and automatic reaction, right? So it's very important. So we will look at our brain. Okay, now brain of emotions. Yes, Rashri, you want to ask something? Rashri, put up the hand. By accident, or you want to say something? Okay, brain of emotions. Okay, very important. We have an emotional brain, right? So the emotional brain is our limbic system. Okay, limbic system is very important because it is the one that actually all our emotions and all of them are there. Amygdala is Okay, sorry. Amygdala is this part of it, amygdala, which is the fear one. Like, when it's suddenly you're fearful and so scared and all that, your amygdala. So you see, these are the parts of the brain. We have a wand, right? That we can actually heal the different parts of the brain and all that. We'll be looking at it in a short while. That's why I don't want to explain too much. If not, it'll become repetitive and then we'll be wasting time. Okay, because it will come into the endocrine system and I'll be explaining those there. All right, so amygdala is the part of the brain that helps us feel scared when we are in danger, or even joyful when we are with our loved one. So amygdala is actually sort of like a emotion center, like that. So the part of the brain that emotional detector. Too happy, it's also like, it's the amygdala is activated. Too scared, also amygdala is activated. So children going for exams, is always good to heal their amygdala because they have anxiety and fear. So it's good to heal that portion of that. Okay, hypothalamus, very important, right? Because the brain's command center for emotions and physical reactions. It tells the body how to react when emotions are triggered, like scared or excited or fearful and all that. Okay, it controls our heart rate, the stress hormone, the fight or the flight mode. That means it will tell you, okay, go and fight, or faster go and run away from it. So if you see a crocodile, you're gonna, or a snake lah, you see a snake, it's two things you're gonna do. Either you're gonna fight the snake or you're gonna run away from the snake, right? So that is the fight or the flight mode. Okay, your hippocampus is very important. So people, you must always, use the wand to heal the hippocampus because it's the brain's memory keeper also, right? It stores memory, allowing us to recognize similar situations, make connections. Hippocampus is also very important. It's our memory, core memory as well. And the thing is, hippocampus shrinks along with age, right? As you get older, hippocampus do tend to shrink. The only way to not let it shrink is to go and learn dancing. Go and dance. When sir comes on, like during COVID, right? The bed yoga, before the bed yoga or whatever, when sir comes on dance and then everybody's dancing. That's when you dance, the hippocampus expands. It doesn't shrink. That's the beauty of the hippocampus. Okay? So if you don't want your hippocampus to shrink, please do something like, and learn anything, learn any dance movement and all that, right? So yeah, you can just dance in the house, no need to go out to dance somewhere and all that. Okay, now how the brain is affected by emotions. Again, just now when Bruce Lipton also spoke about perception, how we look at things, how we perceive things. What one may perceive may not be seen by the other, right? Sometimes if you go, last time, in our MRT station, they will have a picture. If you look at the picture carefully, sometimes it looks like a lady wearing a hat. But if you look otherwise, it will be an old man with the long chin or something like that. So perception, what the picture may look at differently to another person. Again, right? So strong emotions can make us more sensitive to certain situations, leading us to notice things which normally we may ignore and all that. So again, emotions are attention. When we feel strong emotions, our brain tends to focus more on what is triggered. So our brain is very funny. We may have had so many good experiences, but one bad experience or one bad emotion, we will focus and replay and replay and replay until it becomes stagnant there, that it's not able, you are not able to move on, kind of thing. So it's very important that we have to manage our emotions. Things happen. You can be upset for a day or two and after throw it out of your system. Do not keep on holding on to it and then make it into until it affects your energy, body and your health, right? So learning, emotions play a key role in how we remember things as well. So emotional connections makes the perception stick in our mind, how we see things, the experience we have had also, right? Okay, so memory, strong emotions can create lasting memories as our brains prioritize emotions. If you went on a roller coaster, had a good experience, you will remember it as a good part. But if you went there and then suddenly halfway you're stuck on top of a roller coaster and it took you hours to get down, that is not a good memory. So it will be like a bad memory kind of thing. So that's also stuck in there, right? And it creates like a trauma or can be traumatic experience for people. Chronic stress, in the long term, emotional stress can also mess up the body's balance. right? So prolonged stress can lead to hormonal changes, affecting things like the mood, energy, ability to cope with the um, everyday situation, because you're not able to manage the those emotions and all that. Okay, understanding emotions and health, very important. Have you ever wondered why someone can get so angry, especially these days? If you look, there's so much of anger management. I mean, like, people get angry so easily. They do not know how to manage their anger, right? Whether it's adult or children, they do not know how to manage their anger. Um, you know, and they can actually have a lot of meltdown or break things or throw things and shout loudly and things like that, and which can be quite scary for the person who on the receiving end as well, right? So yeah, so seems to sometimes, sometimes on, and these kind of things can knot your feel your stomach is knotted because you feel scared and you feel grief why this person is reacting this way and all that and all. So it also makes your chest feel heavy. So all of these emotions can have an effect on your organs, which is not good. Yeah. So which organs are affected by emotions? For an example, when chronic stress, constant stress and all that, it affects your brain. So sometimes you keep on having constant headache, or you can't think properly and all that, because of too much of overload of work, overload of emotions and all that. Overthinking and all that will actually cause this stress, unwanted stress, and it affects your brain, right? Frustration, thinking, why is it like this? Why happened to me? Why am I doing this? Why do I have to do all this? All the whys and the how and all that also again affects your head, right? And then you can't think straight because you're too affected by all these unwanted emotions. Again, when you have unnecessary tension, so brainstem affected, right? Passes through yours. So tension again, neck and your spinal cord is affected. Thyroid, when one has thyroid, is usually because of mistrust and all that. They don't trust people easily because they have been cheated before and all. Yeah. Then again, with the stress, sometimes the stress and the fright can actually affect your heart. Too much of fear. Okay, abundance of love is also good. Like, when you feel, also your heart is also overjoyed also. So some people, they cannot have too much of happiness is also bad. Too much of sadness is also bad. It's a moderation, yeah. Because some people's heart are like that. So, right amount, balanced amount, yeah. Okay, lungs, grief and fear affects your lungs. Anxiety and all that affects your digestive system. The gut and the brain and the gut kind of thing. So when anxiety and emotions affect your gut, gut is affected, brain is also affected. So you see, it's all connected. Okay, and then liver, when constant anger, when you're always angry, throwing a lot of shouting and screaming and all that, it's going to affect your liver. Okay, so constant rage, too much of jealousy and ego and all that affects your liver. So you see, when you know what are the things that affects, then you must know how to manage them, right? Because the thing is, then you are affecting, it's your emotions and you are affecting your own organs. So it's important, and PVH will teach you how to take charge of your own health, and it's in your control, right? So fight or flight. So adrenal glands are very important. Okay, that those are the ones that you fight or flight. You're going to fight it or you're going to run away, and all that. Anger affects your gallbladder. Constant anger after a long time, again, it also affects your gallbladder. Then there will be gallbladder stones and all that. Okay, spleen. When you're too guilty all the time, you feel guilty for something. Some people feel guilty for everything, even though they didn't do anything, right? So sometimes it happens and all that. Yeah. So when someone who's the kidneys are also affected when someone who's always constantly having trauma and things like that. Okay, so 5 key emotions that can cause imbalance and impact on the health and all that. Okay, so for an example, anger, right? So when you don't manage your anger, right, it affects the liver badly, because liver is an important organ which we'll be looking at also, right? And when it becomes unbalanced, the it's not you're not able to control your anger, and in the too much of frustration is all bottled up, or shouting and all that, this can actually affect your liver, and the liver will be producing unnecessary toxin, which will also affect your health. So this can result in tension, frustration, headaches, dizziness, and even high blood pressure. Okay, overjoy, heart, right? So overjoy, too much of sudden burst of overexcitement or overjoy can also overstimulate the heart. And also someone who's always like upset and grieving and angry also can also affect your heart, right? Because that can cause the restlessness, insomnia, like cannot sleep well, palpitations and anxiety, right? So overstimulation. Okay, grief affects the lungs, right? So much of sadness have a direct impact on the lungs. These emotions are believed to deplete your lung energy, leading to weakening of the lungs function and all that. So, and also brings the immune system down, right? So, frequent catching the flu, cold, shortness of breath, even COVID and all that, So, because, we have to manage. Actually, our immune system is so important. When we are very happy, our immune system is at the peak, right? But when you are feeling down and sad and all, immune system also drop. Because why? It's all part and parcel that it plays around. Because if you are sad and all that, you can't sleep. When you can't sleep, immune system drops as well. So everything is connected if you look at it. Yeah. Okay. Overthinking and worry also affects your spleen. So excessive worry and overthinking affects the spleen. When the mind is constantly worried, it weakens the spleen function. So this leads to poor digestion, bloating, fatigue, decreased energy level, buildup of fluids in the body and all that. So some jobs are very stressful, right? So, and when there's too much of stress, this can also affect the organs. Okay, fear. So kidneys are affected because fear is believed to deplete the kidneys function as well. Because sudden shock, sudden excessive fear, and all that, it affects the adrenal glands. It leads to the lower back pain as well, anxiety, fatigue, urinary issues. Some people get, IBS and all that. Irritable bowel syndrome and things like that. Okay, now we have something called happy chemicals produced by our brain. So our brain is so good that it can actually produce happy chemicals, right? And what are these happy chemicals? There's serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, and all that, right? So we have these chemicals that are produced by our brain. So sometimes when an act of kindness, right, when you do something kind to someone, like someone fell down and you have to pick up, or you have held the person up, or someone who has lost the wallet and you gave some money. Okay, all these are form of like kindness that actually will make you feel good, right? So suddenly there's a surge of serotonin in your body, like feel like, wow, I'm feeling happy because I helped someone and that person thanked you. And when that person thanked you, you felt good, and then that person felt good because someone helped the person and all that. So you see, it's like a good way of like doing kindness and creating a compassionate Mother Earth, right? Because Mother Earth want all of us to live together and and be kind to each other, right? So yeah, so happy chemicals, we all want to experience happiness in our lives, but there are 4 kind of chemicals which is there. Okay, and then they make us feel happy and all. Okay, I summarized that, so I didn't read it for you. Okay, there's kind of different, like so when someone is highly in love, right, when someone falls in love, okay, when you're in love, first time going out with date, and then and you clicked off, and then you're so happy and excited to see the person. Oh, your serotonin and dopamine and oxytocin all so high. That's only the beginning, yeah, right? Even if the person said anything, you're still happy. Yeah, the person calls, you're all excited, and then so all these, like the search, wow, it's so good for you, and your skin is glowing and everything is good, right? Then comes like that's also when serotonin also creates happiness. So if you have a lot of serotonin, you also feel happy, right? You also have another one, the noradrenaline, okay, which is anger. When you have like too much of anger and built up anger and unhappiness, also it causes this, which is not good for the body anyway. Okay, and then depression. Yeah, first you got to know someone and okay, happy. Then after that, the person never call. Okay, never call, and then you feel depressed. Hey, why the person never call me? Not, or so you feel sad. Dopamine drops. Toop. Serotonin drops. Toop. Oxytocin even little already. Then you feel sad. Yeah, so depression. Anxiety, sometimes most of the time children, right? Because when they sit for major exams, they feel anxious and all that. So the chemical there. So that's why we have a beautiful wand that we can actually heal the chemicals that is necessary for our brains to, the produced by the brains, right? So during exam time or during any time when you think that someone needs extra of these kill the chemical, the part of the brain that boosts the chemicals that is produced by the brain, right? The dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and all this, and all. Yeah. So you see, our wand is very good. Can do a lot of things. Okay, that's a repetition. Love, nice, right? Depression, okay, when someone is sad. Okay, now question time. Which of the following can damage the cells that produce the important hormones? Okay, so which of the following can damage the cells that produce the important hormones? For an example, A, unhealthy food.
D.
B, lack
D.
of water. So it's dehydration. The cells need water, but then don't have enough
D.
water. What happens? C, harmful lifestyle habits,
D.
alcohol, uh, too much of junk food, processed food, and all that, smoking, and all that. Then then all of the above. D. Okay, yeah, I
D,
see in the
all
chat
of
room.
the
Very good. Thank you.
answer is
Yes,
D.
yes, yes. So you all got it, right? It's all of the above. So all of these can cause damage to the cells. Okay, that produce the important hormones. Hormones are very important for our body and all that. Hmm? Okay, so wrong food can damage cells, affect our hormone production. Okay, and then they can cause dehydration, making it hard for the cells to work properly. And bad habits like smoking, sleeping very late. It's very important to sleep on time. Okay, if you want to lose weight, you must sleep on time as well, because when you when you eat early, right, and then if you stay up until 11, 12, in midnight and all that, it's bound that you're going to get hungry. And if you get hungry, you're going to look for food and you're going to eat. After that, you're going to fall asleep. So that's not good. You'll put on weight, right? And the body starts healing at 11 to 3. It's a very important time period when the body is actually clearing off whatever toxin and repairing and things like that. Your cells are regenerating and all that. So it's very important that to sleep during that period of time is so important, because the body is healing. Yeah, so it's important. Lack of sleep also causes for the organs not functioning properly and all that. Too much stress is also not good, right? It hurts your cells and all that. Yeah, and then unwanted stress can also cause has effects on your fragile organs like your ovaries, your uterus, and all that, and other parts, kind of thing, causing cancer. All these unwanted emotions and stress and all that. Okay, now what can be the possible causes of our emotion? So A, hormonal changes. B, self-suggestion, like auto-suggestions and all that, thinking like, the doctor said this, or the doctor said that, or the therapist said this, or therapy said, or someone said this and someone said that, those kind of thing. Negative mental or energetic influences. For an example, negative influence like any psychic attack, or someone who has got like can be sometimes psychic vampires or things like that, zapping your energy and all of that. So all
D.
of the above.
D.
Okay, so
D,
many of
all
you
of
said
the
all of the above. Okay, very good.
D.
Yes, you said all of the above. Yeah, because the thing is, all of these will actually affect it's because of the emotions, right? All of these will actually be cause of it. Types of basic emotion. When you're too happy, good, better than being sad. But sadness is not good, because when you prolong sadness will lead to depression, and then that depression goes into the affects your mental body. So when it's too long in that, it's very hard to save someone. So that's why whenever when we always check the energy body and astral body immediately, because in the astral body you can burn and blaze away and starts helping the person. When it goes to the mental body, it becomes deep rooted. So we don't want people to go into the deep rooted state. We try to do clear whatever we can in the astral body itself. Fear, unwanted fear. Sometimes some people have traumatic experience in life, and it can be a constant fear, and it takes a while for them to get over it, get overcome it and all that. Disgust, like some things can be quite disgusting, right? Like, I had students like, when they brought mealworm after their science lesson, they brought mealworm to the class, and I was like, oh, okay, because one of the boy carried it and said, teacher, you want to touch? I say, no, I don't want to touch. So I'm not going to touch a mealworm. Anyway, you're not supposed to be taking it out of the container, because the mealworm need to grow in a untouched environment, because the hands are dirty and all that. Yeah, anger, right? So unnecessary anger causes a lot of emotions and all that. Sudden surprise, Also, it depends. Good surprise is okay. Sometimes can be shocking surprise. So also can be quite traumatic on the body as well. Okay, so explanation, hormonal changes like your serotonin or adrenaline can strongly affect how we feel, happy, sad, angry, and all that. Auto suggestions, repeated thoughts or belief to ourselves can influence our emotions, even if they are not true. You know, especially little children, when someone say, or even their parents, when they say they're not clever, right? They will come back to the class and say, oh, they're not clever. I say, who said that? They, oh, my mother said this. It's like, oh, my father said like this. I said, well, who said? Well, then when they're doing something, oh, this is so good. You're so good. Then they look at me like, really? I mean, yeah, really, very good. You didn't make any mistakes. What? It's good. So sometimes you need to give them boost to counter react. If not, they will be growing up thinking they are not clever or they're dumb, right? And we don't want that. And you know, it's just like talking to we did this before on emotions, right? Talking to we did it in Zoom. I think a year ago or two, when we had boiled rice in one glass we put a boiled rice, and we spoke good things about it. We spoke with love, with care, with compassion. We said we love you every day. And another container of rice, we put the negative, right? We said all the bad things, like, oh, we don't like you, you know, rice, you're bad, this and that and everything. And then after that we kept it in separate places, and we were talking to the containers at different places. But and then we monitored for 1 week. The one that we spoke with nice words and all that, right? The rice didn't even have any fungus or anything. It was still okay. It was still good. The one that we spoke with so much of negativity and so much of hurt and all that, right? It started having so big black mole growing on it. So imagine if we speak to people like that, what kind of growth they will be having, what kind of cells they be having. They will grow in that, and then they will also become like that, right? So it's very important. If you're nothing good to say, don't say it, right? And say things which are positive, even in a negative situation, right? Try to be positive. Say something that will help someone instead of bringing them down. Try to bring them up, right? So it's important. Psychic attacks, negative energy, or mental influence from others can affect emotions. Yeah, sometimes negative energy that can go to a place that is it can have actually some energy attached to your aura and all that. Okay, now we're coming to our stomach. Very important organ, our stomach, which is also helps our digestive system. Sometimes parents talk about their elder brother and okay, let's see. Exactly. You're right. Yeah. So sometimes don't compare. Not all our five fingers are the same, right? So okay, like in my house, right? I have my boy and my girl. So both of them have their own strength and their weaknesses. So we do not compare, oh, you must do like what Anna does, or oh, you must do what your sister does. No, we don't do that. Because the thing is, we know as I was growing up, I think our parents used to call, I mean, my father doesn't, but my mother does a lot of comparison, right? So she'll say, oh, look at you look at your best friend. She's so much smarter than you and all. Then I'll be looking like, okay. Like, so I mean, I'll be wondering, but I mean, so it's like, it's kind of like hurtful. Like sometimes you wonder, and things like that. So don't make that kind of comparison, because it's not going to do any good to the child. Some children, they will think like, oh, okay, I want to do better than my friend. But some may say, oh, okay, I'm not good. So what? Then you have it backfires here. So doesn't mean these days, it works like the olden times. Olden times, maybe when they put down the child will say, okay, I'll prove you wrong. These days, they will accept it and say, okay, yeah, you say I'm not good one, so I'm not going to work. Then it will backfire. I have students like this. So, it's very obvious, these generation, alpha, is it? So, they work differently from the previous generations and all that. Be careful what you say. Don't say negative thing. Don't make comparison. Everyone is different. Everyone has their talents and positive strength. Then appreciate that strength and all that. Okay, location of the stomach. All right. Give me 1 minute. Sorry. Sorry, I had to answer a call. Okay, now, so location of the stomach, right? So remember, your stomach is a J-shaped organ. Right? If you look at it, look at that, like a little J-shaped organ here, right? And it's located at the upper part of your abdomen, just below the chest, but it's there. So the most important role of the stomach, right? It's like to basically to digest food, right? So the most important here, the food, the first part of the food, entry of the food is the mouth, right? So the food is chewed and swallowed, it enters the stomach. Before it goes to the stomach, it goes through this gullet or esophagus. So the name is either esophagus or gullet. Both mean the same. So it rolls into the saliva helps to soften the food, and then you chew, and then it goes through this gullet like a ball, and it goes through and into the stomach. When it comes there, it's actually it's like a muscular organ. Our stomach is like a muscular organ, and it acts like a mixer and a grinder, right? Because there's a lot of acid in there. So you have a very important acid, which is like your gastric juices and stomach hydrochloric acid. So the hydrochloric acid helps to break down the food. It kills the germs. It also activates your enzymes like your pepsin, which helps to start digesting your protein and all, right? So it's very important. Do you know that the hydrochloric acid, right? It is so strong that, even if you have swallowed a coin, it will also get digested, yeah? So it is that strong, yeah, because it's nothing survives in there because it's the acid is so strong there. Okay, then after that, then it goes to the small intestine. You should go to the small intestines. The job of the small intestines is to, when the food is already made into a chyme from the stomach muscles, it turns the food into a thick soup, thick mixture, right? Like a thick mixture, like chyme. And then after that, it flows into the small intestines. And then then bile comes into the picture from the liver and the gallbladder. It helps to digest your fats. And then, of course, all the other little organs, your pancreas, and all that starts working together. Very important. Now, the digestive system is very important. Why? It's because it's also in the sense like, when your food is chewed into smaller pieces, right, and swallowed in and all that, the most important part is when the stomach is trying to break down the food into softer liquid, which is the chyme. Now, the acids are the ones that are actually helping to break this food down, right? And then now the small intestines, they absorb all of these, and then they will start sending it into the bloodstream. Okay, all the nutrients, all the food that they have eaten doesn't get digested. Only the part that is needed by the body will be digested, and the nutritious, whatever that is nutrition, which will be absorbed by the blood and then transported through the circulatory system and all that. The rest of it will go as a waste into the large intestines. Okay, and all. Now, so what is the digestive system? Very important. It breaks down food into nutrients, then it passes into the circulatory system wherever it's needed. Okay. Now, the teeth helps to break the food down into smaller pieces. So in your mouth, when you put the food in, you can't swallow the whole pizza, right? So you bite the pizza or whatever, your rice or whatever that you're eating into small bits, and then you start chewing. And the tongue mixes the food with the saliva, which already contains something called amylase, which helps to break down the starch. So, it's already starting here itself. There's some kind of a chemical digestion while the food is being physically chewed within the mouth, right? Secretes salivary amylase, which helps to break down the glucose part there. Now, then you come to this portion here, which is the epiglottis. So epiglottis is like a flap, like a door. It opens, close, and all that. Now, epiglottis is very important because it's like, it's a structure at the back of the throat, right, that closes over the trachea. So trachea is only allows air to go through the trachea, right? So your food is supposed to go into the gullet part, the other entry. Sometimes when you talk while you're eating, then you get choked. One grain of rice or some water gets into the trachea, then you start coughing violently and all that, because it's trying to get whatever that has gone in, it's trying to push it out ASAP, because no food is supposed to enter that part and all that. Yeah, so the epiglottis is like a bouncer here, right? So it's standing there. Hey, only air, no food, right? So epiglottis stands there and watches, because trachea is to the lungs and esophagus is to the stomach. Sometimes accident happens, right? you end up talking too much, and then after that, while eating, so that's why the old elders who used to say, when you're eating, don't talk. Yeah, because you can get choked. I follow that very well. When I'm eating, I don't talk. Yeah, my children, I don't like when anybody talk to me when I'm eating also. So I always have to eat quietly on my desk in the staff room. I don't eat in a group when I'm because everybody will be talking. And I like to enjoy my food as well. Okay, stomach, mechanical digestion. So it's a muscular hollow organ that performs chemical breakdown of food and all that. Then the enzymes and hydrochloric acid, very important. It's already there. We already explained earlier, right? So stomach is so elastic. So you see, you want to control your hunger, like you eat what is necessary, right? Then you only eat what is needed for the body, right? Then the stomach will shrink to its size. But if you keep on putting eating and eating and eating, the stomach can actually expand to that big because it's a muscular organ, right? So the food actually enters the stomach and the muscular wall can contract and churn and all that. So if you want to go on a diet, put less food and drink more water. Drink more water first, then put less food or eat more vegetables, and then it fills you up with fiber, and then put in whatever other food that you want to put in. So to trick the stomach as well, and to trick your it helps in losing weight. Chemical digestions in the stomach, okay, very important. Secretes proteins to function the protein digest. So protein, pro, easy to remember. Stomach proteins, typically like acid conditions, okay, for the activation like pepsin, okay, which aids in the protein digestion as well. Stomach lining secretes gastric juices, hydrochloric acid. So the problem is also, if you don't eat on time, right? If you don't eat on time, the stomach is still producing the acid, so but you're not eating, so it starts, the acid is just building up. So it's good
You
to
want
just keep a cracker or biscuit or something to
you
just
want
pop in
the
your mouth to actually
you want this thing or not?
so the acid sort of like sees, and then it just gets taken over the biscuit and all that, like a soda biscuit or anything. So sometimes when you're very busy, it's good to keep
He saw, he said he wanted. And he
pardon?
ate.
Hello, yeah. I don't think he's talking to us. Okay, so it's very important because you don't want to have gastric issues and and all that, right? So it's good to know that when you're supposed to eat, and then eat at the correct time and all that. Yes, Virama, you want to ask something? Virama, you raised your hand. Okay. All right. So now mucus, right? Also, there's a mucus lining. So protects the stomach lining from the acid damage as well. So it's good to eat vegetables first. Eat the salad. So the salad also, it's nicely cushions that portion of the stomach lining, right? So it's when you eat after that, then you eat all your protein and your carbohydrates and all that. The digestion, it helps. It eases your digestion as well. So it's important to know how to manage your stomach. Okay, what's this? Sorry. Mhm. Okay, now this is your esophagus splinter, which is just now what we saw, right? So this splinter prevents acid and stomach contents from traveling backwards to the stomach. So when the splinter muscle becomes weak, or during over, it will become weak because of age. It's like from the time you have been born all the way it's been formed, and 90 100 years old, of course it will become weaker, right? It's wear and tear kind of thing. So that's when you have to eat less acidic food, right? More not too much of a solid, but more watery food and all that, so that it eases digestion and all that. So the lining of the esophagus can become inflamed or irritated with these acids, which can also cause burning sensation and sometimes a sour taste. So sometimes people think, hey, they're having heart attack, but it's not. Sometimes it could just heartburn and all that. So when the acid starts eating the walls of the stomach, and that's when you have to eat something quickly or if not, drink hot water or something, warm water to neutralize that acid, right? Because it's very important that you don't have too much of these things, because it can actually cause damage later on, because acid reflux happens when stomach acid flows backwards up the food pipe. which is like going upwards to the esophagus. So normally a small muscle at the top of the muscle, like a door, right? That closes the food that enters the stomach. If it doesn't close properly, which because of age and all that, it becomes weak, then the acid from the stomach can move upward. So the acid can actually irritate your food pipe, which is your esophagus or your gullet, right? So this causes a burning sensation, which is your heartburn, which what we spoke about earlier. So why does the acid reflux happen? Sometimes because eating too much of food. You go to a buffet and you keep eating because you paid for that much, and then overeating also causes that. So that's why I don't like buffet. So my husband will never bring me to buffet because he says I'm a waste of money if he brings me for buffet. Because there's no point. I don't like being feel stuffed. I want to eat what I want to, right? Not like, oh, just because I paid, then I must eat that much, yeah? So it's terrible. Spicy, oily, acidic food also causes this kind of acid reflux. After eating, quickly lying down also cannot. No. Some people lie down on the stomach some more. Poor stomach want to digest the food. And then you go lie down, how you're pressing on your whole body weight on it. So it's a no. Being overweight sometimes causes this as well. Stress and lack of sleep, right? So also causes acid reflux. Someone who's like chronic smoker, drinking alcohol all the time, also bad. Eating very late at night is also not good because also causes acid reflux, and depending on what you're eating as well, right? If you took a sandwich, it's different. You take a salad, maybe different. But if you took something like a fried chicken or something, then it's going to be a mess, right? Like it's going to cause more acid reflux. So symptoms of acid reflux could be like a burning sensation in your chest, sour taste in the mouth, burping excessively, sometimes the bloating feeling in your stomach, feeling that the food is coming back, regurgitation, right? They call that sore throat or coughing sometimes even. So simple ways to avoid or prevent, a better word, prevent acid reflux will be eat smaller meals, right? Avoid lying down after eating, drink enough water, reduce spicy food and eat slowly. Chew your food. Very important that you must chew your food, because when you chew your food, then the food is getting digested properly. Yeah, so that's very important and all that. And also sometimes, when we eat, right, every meal actually carries energy. So every emotions also influences our digestion. So healing begins when food, emotions, and prana are in harmony as well, right? It's like, sometimes when you see food, you quickly eat because you have work to complete and all that. Sometimes too much of gas also goes in. So treat your meal with respect, right? Because it's like the food that you're putting in, it's actually giving you energy for the whole body. So eat properly as well. Yeah. So food carries energy. Every meal carries energy and all that. So this is the one, the acid reflux goes backwards, and then so then when it comes out going upward, it's very painful. So sometimes some people even do want to vomit and all that. And then can you imagine if you eat spicy food and then the spicy food comes out, the whole entire chest area is burning, right? And all. So this is acid reflux, what happens and all that, which I've already summarized. I don't think I need to read that. So it is the same thing. Acid reflux condition where the gastric acid is regurgitated. It comes backwards. So when it's backwards, it's more painful. Okay, so this is the simplified explanation of acid reflux. So when the body is functioning normally, right? So there shouldn't be any acid reflux because your food is at this level, its digestion is going on. The acid, which is like the hydrochloric acid and all the gastric juices are actually breaking down the food here and all that. So the LES, which is your lower esophageal splinter, it's closed. So it acts like a valve. It doesn't open. So the food is always contained in the stomach area. So nothing goes up. It is when the lower splinter, right, it's weak, or becomes too relaxed already and closed because of wear and tear or overuse. So then the stomach acid can actually flow backwards. So that means the food is churning, and the hydrochloric acid and the gastric juices are actually working on the food. But again, too much, and then it's not able to close the little door, which is the splinter. Then the acid goes backwards. And then that's when it irritates your esophagus and causing pain as well, a burning sensation and all that. So yeah, So we talk about this. Don't eat, eat smaller meals and all that. Okay. Okay, we will not touch on this, yeah, because I think it will be too much overdose today, right? Any questions? Now we can take on questions. You can unmute yourself if you want to ask any questions, or you can type in the chat also, no problem. Because we have done certain organs already. We have done our stomach, we have done our nervous system, we've done our pancreas and all. So yeah, next week we will cover liver and all the other gallbladder, muscular system, skeletal system, endocrine system. Actually, all my endocrine system are all here, right? So we will cover all that because it'll be too much. It's already 9:35, and I think if I were to cover everything today, it would be 11 o'clock only. Okay, so yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, I do have one.
Yes, please.
With regards to that acid reflux, is it like that if we eat a sour food kind of thing that happens?
Sour, right? Yeah, sour food
Yeah.
also. You see, for an example, sour food can be like too much of like lemon or tamarind and all this, right? So too much of it is also not good because sometimes the acid is already producing, and then you are eating the sour food which is already acidic. So then it's actually causing that effect of acid reflux. So you can actually touch, if you want to heal acid reflux, right? You can heal your esophagus, your physical stomach, and all that, right? And touch the area where you can feel the acid reflux, and then you can heal. Yeah, and then drink warm water or hot water, a bit warmer than hot, right? And then after that, then it helps to suppress the acid reflux and all that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the explanation.
No problem.
Yeah, madam, I had a question.
Mr.
I
Dharmendra.
have missed a couple of classes. I'm from Bangalore, Dharmendra here. As my wife was undergoing dialysis in a hospital, I missed a couple of classes, I guess.
Okay.
So are we getting any modules or notes or this particular video so that we
Yeah,
can?
I sent last week. Module 1 and Module 2 was sent on Sunday. It should be in the groups already. Like, how did you get to know this? Then the same group, you can actually get access to the recordings.
Okay.
I also sent the notes last week.
Uh-huh. And what about this video and these pictures? Can we get that also?
Actually, it will be sent in this, when I do the recording, right, it will be sent there itself. And I will send Sir's videos as well, which is on Module 3. It's a long one, so you can watch as well.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Sir has done it already.
Sorry, Chitra.
Yes.
Mr. Dharmendra, is it? You can do a screenshot when you do, when Chitra is conducting the classes, you do a screenshot, and then what you can do is that you can write it down. Of course, the classes that you miss, I understand, but otherwise, what I've
I
done
have taken a
previously.
couple of screenshots today. Yeah.
Great. That's what I did, and I wrote down most of it. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Chitra.
you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, like this one, all I will send in the group later, right? So you can look at it and all that and all. That's why it's very important to come with a note and pen, because you can write down certain things and all that. Then later on can revise and things like that. Because sometimes can be overdose, right? Because it's it's our human anatomy, so it's a lot things to cover. That's why. Okay. Any other question? If not, we can end the session today.
Chitra, I have a question. How detailed will the questions be that cover anatomy of the human body in our exams?
Oh,
Is
no,
it going to be
actually,
very detailed?
Whatever we are doing now, right, and Sir's video, right, it is exactly what it will come out only.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's not like, we're not going to sit for medical exam all, so it's not going to be like that kind of level. But basic things that we must know of our health, right? Our, how our stomach works, certain important things that we need to know. And those are the things that we must look out for. Like endocrine system, how does it work and all that. That one we'll be doing next week. So that one is an important part as well. right? Okay,
Yeah.
maybe before we end, we
It
can also
it
take a
would be
walk
multiple
and
choice
do.
questions only. Yeah.
Pardon? Yes, Mr.
I
Dharmendra, you
said
said.
it would be multiple choice questions, right?
Yeah, it's only multiple choice. So you got a lot
Yes.
of choices there to. I told
Mhm.
you how to eliminate, right? You know this one doesn't make sense. Cross. Then you know this one makes more sense. Even if you don't know the other solve doesn't make sense, then you can do the elimination method. It's only multiple choice. Maybe when you're doing degree, then got essay lah. Huh? But for now, no. For now, it's diploma, so it's okay. We're all safe.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Chitra.
You're welcome. Okay, we can actually hold our stomach. Let's show gratitude. Since some people was asking about the acid reflux and all that, right? It's always very important to show gratitude to our organs. And during our G meet, we always show either one of the organs we will do. So Monday to Friday, we have our period pain and war removal blessings and all that we'll be doing, right? So we always choose one organ to do gratitude. So I thought today, since we ended with stomach, let's do gratitude to our stomach. Let's touch where our stomach is. Okay. Oh dear, our dear stomach. Okay. Thank you for the constant care, nourishment, support to our body every single day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My stomach for receiving, digesting, and transforming food into energy, strength, and vitality, and nourishment for every cell in our body. Thank you for working tirelessly with wisdom and harmony to support our growth, healing, and wellness, and giving us life. We honor every cell, every tissue, every nerve, every enzyme, and every function of our stomach with love and appreciation and with gratitude. May my stomach be blessed with a divine healing energy, be strong and balanced, and have a perfect health. May all our pain, acidity, bloating, discomfort, inflammation, fear, stress, tension, imbalance dissolve all the dissolve from our body and organ. May our digestion become calm, smooth, healthy, and balanced. May my stomach absorb nourishment with ease and support our body or support my body with a renewed energy. We bless our stomach with peace, we bless our digestive system with healing, and we bless our body with strength, comfort, harmony, and wellness. Thank you, stomach, for all that you do silently, faithfully for every single moment. May the organ in our body continue to work together in perfect harmony. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, stomach, for working brilliantly. Thank you, Healing One. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we can show gratitude to our organs. And every time when we show gratitude to our organs, you can see that our organs work even better. But of course, please must be careful. Just because it's working better, we don't take advantage of it. Okay. Because our stomach is very kind, it gives us a lot of choices. The gastric doesn't come overnight. At first, people don't eat properly and all that. It's still the stomach still give you chance. Okay, never mind, slowly. And then you keep on over years and years. Then after that, cause a lot of damage, right? So it's our fault, right? So let's be kind to our organs and our stomach. All right. With that,